Hello, and thank you for giving us another opportunity to spend some time with you on Stairway to Health, brought to you by Health Experts Canada. We've got some great ideas, new information, and hopefully a few laughs for you today. Who knows, if you're not careful, you may learn something.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stairway to Health podcast. I'm your host, Frank Pirri, and I'm here with
Marilyn Mitchell.
And today, Marilyn, I would like to welcome back a very special guest of ours. We've had her on the show before, and we are thrilled to be working with her this year in different capacities than what we're currently used to. I'd like to welcome back JoJo Marie, or as she's known, Simply JoJo Marie. She is the author of an amazing inspirational book called My Missing Piece: What I Learned While Bedridden for 1,460 Days. If anyone can inspire anyone to do anything, it's this woman here.
Absolutely.
So I would like to welcome JoJo Marie back on the show with us. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving up your time.
Thank you so much for having me yet again.
No problem.
Always such a pleasure, and the energy is undeniable. So I'm looking.
Oh, we love talking to you. You know that.
Thank you so much. I'm going to open up with something that's been on our minds lately, and we're seeing it because it's a new year. There are people trying to accomplish new things, right? Whether it's resolutions or new objectives, new targets that they're all looking to hit for a new year. And I want to bring this whole conversation to the idea of motivation and motivating oneself. And Marilyn and I talk a lot about the Health Experts Canada motto really is health is wealth, or health equals wealth. And that whole concept of wealth as it pertains to the life you really want to live. It's not a monetary wealth. It's more about, how you handle yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. Do you just have the vibrancy and energy to enjoy the life that you've always wanted? And you can't do that really without levels of optimal health. And no one knows that better than you. In terms of motivating oneself to go from a state of ill health or wherever they're at in their life to a state of more optimal health, or a better place, what thoughts do you have on that topic of motivation? What motivates you?
It's a big topic for me. When I was in the bed, it was a different source of motivation. When I was in the bed, my source of motivation was my son, primarily. Because I know he was waiting for me, watching me, and he really was so much of my reason for taking that next breath. But I think on a daily basis, what I look at to motivate myself is my mere existence, that I am still here. Every time we wake up, it's a new chance and a new opportunity. So the way I look at it, I'm not at optimal physical health yet. I wish I could say I was. My journey is not yet over with my physical health. I am in a very good place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and living this beautiful, authentic life that's very peaceful. But when those days come that the physical is hard and it feels like it's still hard, the thing that motivates me is reminding myself that I am still here and this is not my forever. And I have another opportunity to take some baby steps today. Lots of people in the new year will make these huge, grandiose kind of resolutions for themselves. For me, it's always set me up for disappointment because they're larger than life to me. And though I love setting the intention, being positive, affirming, motivating, all those things, it can be daunting sometimes. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's face it. It can be downright difficult. So I chop things down into baby steps and to smaller pieces of pie. And by doing that, when I can achieve those smaller steps, it motivates me so much more to keep going. And I don't feel as thrown back because I couldn't couldn't finish the whole pie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Results.
Yeah, baby steps and small wins are what keep motivating.
Absolutely.
Those small wins, it's not about the finish line, right? It's about that slow and steady progress. And I can remember when I was in the bed and I was doing the neuro rehab. When I started neuro rehab, it was literally less than 30 seconds a day. So I would do 30 seconds of rehab. I would be violently ill for 2 or 3 days. I would have to recuperate for another 2 or 3 days. And then I got to try another 30 seconds.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, how the hell am I going to do this? And how am I going to motivate myself to do that 30 seconds again, knowing that the days of hell that I have to endure after? And I also realize that it doesn't matter if it's physical rehabilitation, neurological rehabilitation, mental rehabilitation, whatever it is, whatever goal you're trying to achieve, it's very seldom is it linear. It's not that straight, beautiful line increasing, it's like woohoo. No, it's like you get to it, it's the cha-cha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's that 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But when you look at it overall, you see the progress, right? It's
Yeah.
that being able to step back and take a bigger look at the bigger picture than just, I feel like shit today and I haven't gotten anything done today. And how am I going to reach my goal today? And no, take a step back, see those baby steps, see the progress, see that you are moving forward. You are moving forward. And by enabling yourself to look at the bigger picture, to me, that's what motivates me to keep going.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's an excellent point.
It's a very excellent point. I think it's great to have grand visions of grandeur, like that end goal, that end game that everybody wants, that big picture. Or sorry, but it's important to keep your eye on the big picture, like the progress and the progression, where you were, where you are, where you're going, to see that whole journey. I know it was awful for me at that time, way back when, almost 30 years ago, and it was Marilyn herself that helped keep me motivated to keep going. Because in my case, I didn't want to disappoint, right? I had somebody who was depending on me, somebody who was relying on me to do what was necessary to get myself better, to get my head in the game. And that was heavily motivating for me.
But I also think too, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I look at motivation, I guess to say. I think that motivation is the difference between dreams and goals.
Right.
Because you can dream almost anything. You can put it out there and say, one day I'd like to. But unless you're motivated to make that into a goal where there's today, like you say, one day at a time, one day that you're going to do this. And the small rewards, I think, are better than anything. They say when people join groups and weight loss programs and that in groups, they always tell you not to ever look at how much you have to lose. You don't have to look at yourself and say, I have to lose 100 pounds, because that's so daunting that the average individual would give up. You can't, 100 pounds, like that's 10 big bags of potatoes. I can't do that. But if you look at it like you want to lose 2 pounds this week, then that gives you the motivation to think, I can do that. I don't need that burger,
It's digestible, right?
Yes,
It's literally
exactly.
digestible. And I always say, people will come to me and say, I don't know how to, dot, dot, dot. And I said to them, it's because you're trying to eat the whole elephant at once.
Hmm.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? It's the
Exactly.
same
Yeah.
thing. It's so daunting. And I also want to say I'm not an expert at this. I don't have it all down to a science, and I'm not perfect every day with it. I have to challenge myself too, and I have to challenge my mindset and that inner chatter sometimes. Because sometimes I look at a goal and think, oh, you know, am I ever going to get there? You
Yeah.
know, what's the point? And it's just too much. But then I remind myself, baby steps, small bites, little wins, eventually turn into big gains.
Right.
So
I
it's
also think that people motivate you. Like if you do something with a friend, I'm going to start going around the block and walking every night at 6 o'clock. Yeah, you do that by yourself for 2 days and then you decide to sit down and watch TV. But if you have a neighbor who says, okay, if you're going to do that, I'll do it with you.
yeah.
All of a sudden you're motivated not to disappoint, not to have to think of a new excuse why you're not going to do it. So motivation comes with very many faces,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
so I think that it's all something we have to find that works for us.
Sure. And being self-motivated, I think more often than not, it boils down to a person's deep why. You keep having to go back to what it is, why do you want what you want? And you enter a contract or an agreement with yourself to make a change or to progress or to improve. And you really want to let yourself down. So there's all types of ways that we can look at this whole concept of motivation. But I agree with all of you. We've all had those situations and those people who have touched our lives, who have taken us through those baby steps. Because I like what you said. We don't all have it figured out, right? None of us do. The whole game of life is about continuing to learn and continuing to improve and enhance our experience here. And so it's not really about having it all figured out and being perfect.
Oh no, none of us are.
Right? It is about just constantly looking for those little sound bites of motivation to keep us going.
I'll tell you, when I was in the bed, people would say to me, how do you motivate yourself to keep doing that rehab? Because it was gut wrenching. It was not, I would not wish it on my worst enemy. But I missed my son's grade 8 graduation due to the illness. And I made a promise to him that I was going to be at his grade 12 graduation.
Yeah.
And the days, the weeks, the months kept slipping by. And, grade 9 and grade 10, I'm still in the bed. Grade 11, I'm still in the bed. And I had to get there. So sometimes there is an event, a person, a circumstance that gives us that extra push as well, right?
For sure.
I did get there. I was in a wheelchair, but I got there.
I love
there
that.
You go.
That's awesome. Yeah. Little wins lead to big successes. And I think that's the bottom line. We have to take those small victories when we get them, right? And use those to help continue to motivate us forward, right? To go after what it is we want. Well, I appreciate it. That's all the time we have for today. And thank you once again for giving of yourself so kindly today, JoJo. We really do look forward to seeing you again and speaking with you again soon.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Well, that's all the time for today. I'm Frank Pirri.
And I'm Marilyn Mitchell. And until next time, remember, health equals wealth. So that's all the time we have today. But there's still so much more to talk about and learn. Head over to healthexpertscanada.com for more ideas on healthy living. And don't forget to like, download, and share this podcast with your friends, just for the health of it.